The purpose of this video is to understand the different types of interfacings that are commonly used for bag making. We will review all the different types of interfacings from medium weight interfacing all the way to ultra firm interfacing. You will see how the right interfacing will play a crucial role on the final look, feel, and durability of your bag or pouch. Plus, you'll be able to determine the best interfacing and fabric combination based on what you want to accomplish to obtain the best overall look, design, and function that you desire on your final bag or pouch or travel organizer or anything that you are making. At the end of this video, I'm going to just share with you my go-to form of interfacing. Out of all of these, I do have a favorite. So I am going to share that with you at the end of the video. Hi everybody, welcome back or welcome to Ali So Crafty, where we talk all about sewing. And this video is a very, very important video that I had to learn as a trial and error almost for the past 6-7 years that I've been making bags. I have to say that it has helped me a lot when I buy a pattern, because the pattern designer gives you the right interfacing to use for the bag and how you want the final bag to look. However, it is always good to know for yourself how the interfacing works with your material and with the final look of the bag, because you may want to change it a little bit. You may not like certain aspects of the bag, and if you're a creative person, you know that as you're making the bag, you may think, I may like this section a little more stiff than how it turned out, etc. So it is always good to have this information. So make sure you save this video for future references. So we're going to start with the medium weight, or I also call it the lightweight, because it is the lightest of them all, of all the different interfacings that I usually use. But if you go purchase this interfacing, is a medium weight interfacing. So this type of interfacing is great for your quilting cottons and your home decor fabric, canvas, outdoor fabric, that kind of stuff. This is great when you are using your quilting cotton for the lining of a bag or a zipper pocket, or just simple little panels like the straps for the connectors. This type of interfacing doesn't really add any body to your fabric. If you see, this is interfaced already, and look at how drapey it still is. There is no difference. This is like the fabric with the interfacing, okay? Like there is drape, and here's a piece of quilting cotton without interfacing, okay? Same thing. So mainly this type of interfacing is to protect the fabric. Just add an extra layer of protection for the wear and tear, okay? And just in case, you have your stitching and you're adding extra things to it, maybe a snap, whatever. So you just want to add an extra layer of protection. The most common interfacing in this area is the Pilon SF 101. Or Shape Flex, also called. I used to use that one, but I stopped years ago because I found another form of interfacing that works exactly like the SF 101, but it cost half the price, okay? And it's this one, the weft woven interfacing. I purchased this at Fabric Wholesale Direct, and as the day of this video, the price for 1 yard is $3.99, which is already less than the Pilon SF 101. But here's the part that I love, is that the width of this material is 60 inches wide. When the Pilon SF101 is only 20 inches wide. And if you find the Pilon SF101 that is 60 inches, because it does exist, you're going to pay minimum $11 a yard. And so for this, for $3.99 a yard, I think there is a big difference, and it does the job just like it. So I am sticking with this Fabric Wholesale Direct. All the links of everything that I'm talking about are down in the description if you want to check it out. Consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel if you have learned something today. Fabric Wholesale Direct also has a heavyweight interfacing. It's a little bit more money. It's $5.99 a yard, and it's still 60 to 61 inches wide. This is closer to the Pilon SF101 or Shape Flex. It is a little closer. This feels more like fabric, but I'm telling you, it doesn't really change the shape of the drape, of your fabric. It just won't. It just adds protection. These are woven fusible. Now there is another type of interfacing that is the non-woven fusible, and it almost feels like a little piece of paper. And it has the little bumps here to fuse it. And this is also a medium weight interfacing. And it's actually, I added it to, let me see, where is it? Oh, it's on the other one. Sorry, it's on this one. Let me bring my little notes. So here, this is the interfacing, the medium weight. This is the non-woven. It's medium weight. And again, you see, it just gives the fabric a little bit less drape, but it can still keep the shape, like it's still, I don't know, flexible. It's not going to add any real stiffness to your material. It just gives it a little bit more body, that's all. But again, you have to interface your materials because it's what is going to protect your bag for the wear and tear. So this, usually what I do is sometimes I just buy the 1 yard of fabric and I interface it all at once, because in the future, if I want to add another layer of interfacing, like a heavier interfacing, I can always fuse it on top of the weft woven interfacing. So that's this. Okay, let me put this aside, because now we're going to talk about the medium, the real medium to heavyweight interfacing. For the medium weight interfacing, I use fusible fleece. I usually use the Pelon brand. I'll put the link in the description. Because I don't remember exactly the numbers for this one, but it's fusible fleece, and you can buy it in, it comes in by the bolt or the yard, and it's like 40 inches wide, so it's a lot of material. And this actually is great for exteriors, if you're using quilting cotton for, say, a pouch, a makeup bag, organizer. Like, for example, for my Gigi Duo pouches, which is quilting cotton on the outside, I use fusible fleece, and it gives it a soft touch. It adds like a little bit of cushion, so I feel like it's a little more protected, and it's just fused nicely to the material outside, the quilting cotton or home decor, and it gives the final bag better shape to kind of stand up and hold still. Here is a piece of canvas, home decor, with my fusible fleece fused to it, and look how it stands. Look how it's standing straight. It's keeping the shape. It's allowing me to be able to have my bag and be able to, give it the shape that I want. And if I fold it like this, it's just, when I open it again, the shape is still there and it doesn't create any creases. So I really like the fusible fleece option. So this is great for the exterior. This is also used a lot for linings of your bag or your makeup bag, for a tote bag, a beach bag. This is really a great option for all of that. And accent pieces in, like if there's a special place in your bag that you want it to be a little more stiff, but not like unbendable, fusible fleece is the option for you. Plus, I always keep the scrap materials because they are great to reinforce the area. If you're adding a magnetic snap or a snap, and you have to cut the fabric, I always add a little piece of the fusible fleece to reinforce the area so that my fabric doesn't rip with, the wear and tear. The next option for interfacing is your heavy weight interfacings. And for that, I have 3 types of interfacings that I commonly use. For the heavyweight options, the most common ones that you will find are foam, either fusible or sew-in. The other one is DecorBond Light. However, if you cannot find DecorBond Light, or let's be honest, DecorBond Light, it's a little pricey. You can also get LuxeFuse, and this is a DecorBond Light substitute, and it works just like it. The other option is Pilon. It's called DecorBond 809, and this type of interfacing will give your bag a more smooth look, like these two, not the foam, but the foam too, sorry. But anyway, like a leather-like feel, okay? Because this is kind of like a leather paper type of interfacing, and it has the shiny side here, which is what makes it fusible to your fabric. Sometimes you can fuse this to faux leather. Sometimes you can't. It depends on the faux leather, the backing of it. To cork, to quilting cotton and home decor fabric, of course. This is especially for the exterior. This is what you use for the exterior of your bag, or of the sides of the bag if you want to give it extra shape. This is going to help your bag stand up, okay, stiff. This is going to give your bag that shape that it needs. The DecorBond 809 is the same really as the LuxeFuse, sorry. It's just a tiny bit thinner. Okay, so here are 2 pieces of fabric. These are denim, and added the LuxeFuse on this one, and I added the DecorBond on this one. And look how they stand up, like they just stay straight. They don't flop. This was really floppy. I wish I had another piece, and I cannot find it now. But it was floppy, very floppy, and now it's keeping the shape, but it doesn't add bulkiness, which is what I like. So if you are looking to make a bag that is just nice and stands up and it keeps the shape, but not add bulkiness, these 2 are the options for you. This is also great for zipper panels, areas on the top of your bag, things like that you want to be able to kind of help maintain the shape of the bag. You will use this. The foam interfacing also works perfectly like that. Actually, I have this bag that I made years ago, and it's all foam interfacing, all of it. And so you can see my bag standing up perfectly fine. I mean, it's old. I've made this years and years ago. But it's all foam, but when you touch it, it feels like cushion. So foam is great if you want to, like you saw on this bag, if you know, for a big bag, a small bag, a makeup bag, it doesn't matter. But it is great for a laptop sleeve because it has that little bit of cushion, so you kind of feel like it protects the product a little more, you know, what's inside the bag. I use it for my jewelry organizers. I guess you can see, here's my jewelry organizer, and in this case, I quilted the material and I used foam to do that. And this is quilting cotton with foam. If you want to learn how to make this jewelry organizer, I will add the link in the bottom of the video, and also my pattern to make this jewelry organizer will be available here in the description of this video, okay? But this one I made without quilting. But you can, it feels like cushion. So I feel like, okay, my jewelry will stay a little bit safer because it adds an extra layer of protection. So that's why I like to use foam interfacing. Now you have the fusible foam and you have the sew-in foam. This one is sew-in, and you know, if you're quilting it, then you don't need to really fuse it. But you can, either one, it's fine. But foam is really a go-to for a lot of bag makers, especially when you are beginning to make bags. I used a lot of foam at the beginning because it gives the body of the bag the stiffness that I was looking for, but it's a little bit easier to work than the LuxeFuse or the DecorBond 809. And finally, we have our ultra firm interfacing. This interfacing, look at this. It's like a piece of paper. It's like it's not moving. It is very, very stiff. This is great for the bottom of the bag. Like for example, I have my Serena bag here. This is my Serena bag. I use the LuxeFuse on the outside for all of it, but here on the bottom, I use the ultra firm Peltex material to give it shape. So that really helps. So you have the DecorBond and Peltex 70 Peltex Ultra Firm. These are the two most common interfacings that we use to give the body of the bag like a stiff look. I mean, you can use this not just on the bottom, you can use it on the bag, but my only suggestion not to do that is when this type of interfacing bends for whatever reason. If you're birthing the bag, it will create a crease, and it will actually keep that shape, and eventually it's going to build that crease there because it's kind of like a weak area, and eventually your bag will lose its shape. So this is great. DecorBond and 70 Peltex Ultra Firm are, and this is a Pilon brand, and I think this one too. Yeah, this one too. These are great for like small pieces of your bag. You can fuse them to quilting cotton, home decor, chambray, poplin, twill, all of that. Okay, whatever you're using for your bag. If you are going to add it to the faux leather, I would definitely test a little bit because the depending on the faux leather, it may or may not fuse. And depending on how thick the faux leather is, you're adding more thickness to it. Just think of your machine and your fingers, okay? But this is a great option for that. A lot of people use that ultra firm, the Peltex 70 Peltex Ultra Firm for a hat. You see, you can, this is what you use for like the visor part of like here to cover your face, appliques of something if you're making a flower or something that needs to be stand up and not move and not be floppy. This is what they use. There's different uses for this, but definitely for a belt, they use DecorBond or DecorBond Heavy for belts, all kinds of things like that. So think of something that really needs to keep the shape and kind of look stiff and not look like a cushion and feel smooth to the touch. Then you're talking about these two types of interfacings. Now, finally, my go-to interfacing that I use for almost everything. Drum rolls. I think you probably know which one it is. Okay. Fusible fleece. I think fusible fleece is like the middle of the road. It's great for all type of materials, even faux leather. Now, I did have a faux leather that didn't fuse, but it's okay. It was pretty thick, so it was fine. But fusible fleece just will give your bag the shape that you need, and it's not super bulky, so it helps when you're making the bag with your seam allowance and all the things. And sometimes what I do is that I add the medium, the weft interfacing. Sorry, where's my weft interfacing? I'll add the weft interfacing to the entire piece of fabric to cover all the edges so that it prevents from fraying. And then I add my fusible fleece on top of that. And it really, really gives it that nice shape. It helps with the draping, and based on what I want to make. But it still gives the body of the bag some shape and not super stiff. But of course, I always use the other products based on, the type of bag that I'm making. But if it's a small pouch or a small bag or anything like that, definitely fusible fleece. And of course, for my jewelry organizers, foam. So I hope this really helped you. I do have a video here showing you how I add the foam around the fabric to reduce bulkiness. So that is a great tip that you can look it up in case you don't want to quilt your bag. You can still add the foam, but without adding the bulkiness on the seam allowance. So go and check out that video and I'll see you there. Ciao.